Help support AMTV by becoming a patron, an AMTV staff member, and following us over on Twitter. Hi there guys, it's Adam Martyn here, and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Cerveza Cristal! Cerveza Cristal! That's right, on this channel we're going to be talking about a brand of beer, but it's not just any brand of beer. This brand of beer has recently exploded in virality over social media for adverts that aired over 20 years ago. I'm sure many of you have seen the meme that's currently been floating around about Cerveza Cristal and the adverts that involve Star Wars back in late 2003. When the original Star Wars trilogy, so A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi were first shown over in Chile, the ad breaks over there were timed to seamlessly blend in with the preceding scenes, so you could almost be forgiven for thinking that you were still watching the movie, especially if you hadn't seen Star Wars before. We'll get into the adverts themselves in just a little bit, but let's have a look at the beer itself. Let's learn a bit of history. So Cerveza Cristal was launched in Chile in 1977, adopting the name Cerveza Cristal in 1993. And there's actually a whole thing on its Wikipedia page about the Star Wars adverts. That's how big these things have gotten. The Force is with Cristal Beer is the name of a series of television commercials made for Cerveza Cristal, broadcast in Chile in December of 2003 during the presentation of the movies of the Star Wars saga on the channel Canal 13. So clearly a very clever bit of marketing. Now this won awards at the time, both in Chile and on the international stage as well. Unfortunately, they weren't able to use it again. They did get a bit of a reaction from Lucasfilm, obviously the company who made Star Wars. They filed a claim against them. But even for the time, these must have been quite something to get the international plaudits that they did amongst the television and advertising industry as well. So what is all the hype? Why are these such a big deal? Well, let's actually watch the clips that we have and see. Also, because this is Star Wars, Lucasfilm, I might have to show basically very reduced versions of the full things. You can find them on YouTube and the socials, but that copyright incoming.
You fought in the Clone Wars?
Yes. I was once a Jedi Knight, the same as your father.
Yes, the classic scene where Obi-Wan has saved Luke from the Tusken Raiders and is explaining, the past about Anakin Skywalker, all that sort of stuff, his father. And now, normally in the film, this is where he'd go and open the chest to give him Anakin's lightsaber, but little different this time.
I have something here for you.
Cerveza Cristal. Cerveza Cristal. I will admit, that is very good. Very nice, seamless blend there. Apparently, all that separates this, if you did this on a frame-by-frame basis, the only thing that separates the film from the adverts is a singular black frame. So to the human eye, unless, you're really slowing it down, it's quite a seamless transition. And I mean, that's a jingle if you ever heard one. Cerveza Cristal. I know this is 2003, but there's just something about that jingle that sounds very late 80s, early 90s. I don't know what it is, from the singing, the backup singers, the whole style of it, the very aggressive, power singing of it. It feels very timeless. And again, because it's such a short jingle, that's probably why it's become good status for a meme now. That was the first one in A New Hope. We do have another one further in the film. Let's take a look at that. So Obi-Wan is going to deactivate the tractor beam so the Millennium Falcon can escape, and he's underway with that, but not before having a cold one. Now we move on to The Empire Strikes Back, and the one commercial that we have from this that I've found takes place on Dagobah, when Luke has found Yoda and he's honing his Jedi skills, furthering his training. Just look at that shot. Very seamless. Luke reaches and bam, there he goes. He's got his Cerveza Cristal beer. This time in a can. I do think for whatever reason, this is probably something to do with advertising. I think the shot lingers on the hand holding it too much before the theme kicks in. You would have thought the theme would sort of kick in instantaneously, something like this.
Cerveza Cristal. Cerveza Cristal.
And the final one we have comes from Return of the Jedi, the last film of the original trilogy. And this is where it takes place. We're on the second Death Star. Luke is confronted with the Emperor, Darth Vader flanking him as well, basically saying,
yeah, you're going to join the dark side like you, Danton. There's nothing you can do about it.
but wait, what does Palpy have up his sleeve today?
Es inútil resistir, hijo mío. Cerveza Cristal.
Again, props to the editing. The fact that he ever so slightly reaches out, cut seamlessly to that hand, using the Force to get his Cerveza Cristal beer. Excellent stuff. And yes, it's clearly just, the shot played in reverse. The actor here must have originally dropped it and they've just reversed it. But the effect is, the effect is still quite seamless. Isn't it funny, though, to the power of advertising? We talk about, especially here in the UK, how a lot of people find adverts annoying. They're not really interesting. People don't take as much notice of them nowadays as they used to. But I can see why, because this example, as weird as it is, and it is a bit silly as well, the fact that they've tried to blend it in with the Star Wars films, they've made it as seamless as possible, that is still pretty funny. The image of Emperor Palpatine, the most evil figure in the galaxy, sitting down after delivering this grand speech, then using the Force to grab a cold can of beer. That is funny. Same with Obi-Wan. People must have thought Obi-Wan Kenobi, well, Chilean viewers must have thought Obi-Wan had some sort of alcohol problem with the amount he gets of his Cerveza Cristal. But again, these sort of went viral in 2024 on social media, and now there's constant memes. I can't even begin to tell you. So many other films, people are taking clips from films and adding Cerveza Cristal into them. Some of them done really well, some of them done not so well.
And you have my bow.
And mine. Cerveza Cristal.
Apparently at the time as well, because this did so well, when other films were shown in Chile, they sort of redid the same thing with different films. So apparently they did this with American Beauty, Gladiator, Notting Hill, all of these broadcast in early 2004. And this meme has become so viral that over in the States, it apparently featured on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, ending his opening monologue by holding up a bottle of the beer complete with the original jingle. And yes, I know people say, when traditional telly gets its hands on memes, it sort of ruins them a bit. I haven't seen the clip in question.
Here at The Late Show, we will never stoop to that kind of blatant product placement. Isn't that right, Lewis?
That's right, Steve. Cerveza Cristal. Cerveza Cristal.
But I can imagine that to be true.
Cerveza Cristal!
So yeah, honestly, if you just type in Cerveza Cristal onto YouTube, you're going to find tons and tons of memes, where people have inserted this into films and different TV shows and stuff like that. Again, like most memes, I'm sure this will die out within a couple of days with how quickly the internet moves. It'll get oversaturated, it'll get spoiled. But for what it is, I've got to say, I really enjoyed the Cerveza Cristal meme. The fact that these adverts aired over 20 years ago and they're only really gaining that notoriety around the world now. I guess, times have changed in how we can share things. Social media, of course, has given us that access. But for what it is, these are charming. Come on. Yes, they are very silly. They're very tongue-in-cheek, having it look like these Star Wars characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, the Emperor, chugging down a beer. Yeah, that is pretty corny. But again, I've got to hand it to them. The seamlessness of a lot of these is very, very impressive. I can see why it won the plaudits at the time. It's a shame that Lucasfilm had to come and kibosh it, so there's not going to be, sadly, Cerveza Cristal can't recapitalize on this because they'll probably get sued to high heaven, especially now that the meme has got this spotlight internationally. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on it because it just made me laugh. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. But that is essentially the basis of the meme. There's not some grand complex, thing behind it. It was just a bunch of ads that aired in 2003, only in Chile, mind you, that have now gained this viral notoriety and a status as a meme. It'll probably go down as one of the memes of 2024 when people do their recaps for sure. But I want to know what you think. What do you think about the Cerveza Cristal meme? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was a bit dumb, a bit stupid? Have you seen different clips of it inserted into something else? Let me know all that in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like on it. It really does help us out. Subscribe to the channel as well. We'd love to have you aboard here with us. In the meantime, I've been Adam Martyn here from AMTV. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.
Cerveza Cristal.
Thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show, and a special thank you to Macra, Ethan Carberry-Holt, Bruce Danton, Globe of Reviews, Derek Chambers, Sean Knock, Dord Khan, Trev Hughes, AJ Mac 200017, Deck KP20, Simon Harrison, Evan Hart 38, and Jen, our AMTV staff members.